What truly happens inside the human mind as life draws to a close? It's a question that has haunted philosophers, scientists, and spiritual seekers for generations. For centuries, we've watched the body gradually shut down, witnessing the slowing of breath and the stillness of limbs. Yet the brain's final moments remain shrouded in mystery, hidden from our direct observation. Beneath the surface calm, is there a last chapter unfolding? One written in the intricate language of neurons, electrical impulses, and surging chemicals. Does the mind experience a final surge of activity, or a gentle fading away? Near-death accounts from people around the world describe vivid sensations, bright lights, overwhelming peace, or even the surreal experience of seeing one's own body from above. These stories have fueled both scientific inquiry and spiritual debate. Are these visions simply hallucinations created by a brain under stress, or do they hint at something deeper, perhaps a glimpse into realms we cannot yet explain? Thanks to advances in neuroscience, modern science now allows us to peer into the dying brain, mapping its final sequence of events with unprecedented detail. Researchers are beginning to unravel the patterns that emerge as consciousness slips away. Dying, from the brain's perspective, may not be an abrupt shutdown, but a complex phased process, a last effort to preserve itself, to make sense of the world, or perhaps to orchestrate a gentle departure from life. This exploration demands both scientific rigor and profound respect, as we cross the delicate boundary between life and what lies beyond. Each discovery brings us closer to understanding the most intimate moments of existence. The insights we gain may comfort us, challenge our beliefs, or deepen the mystery even further. They remind us of our shared humanity and the universal journey we all must one day take. Our fascination with consciousness, the enigma of self-awareness, and the dance of biology drives us to seek answers, even when those answers are elusive. So let's venture together into the extraordinary world of the brain as it faces its final frontier, a journey that promises wonder, reflection, and perhaps a deeper understanding of what it means to be alive. When the heart stops, we assume the brain falls silent. For centuries, this was the accepted truth. Life ends, and with it, the mind's activity simply ceases. But the reality is far more complex and mysterious than we once believed. Recent discoveries reveal that the brain doesn't surrender quietly. Instead, it fights on, unleashing a remarkable display of resilience and energy in its final moments. It's not a passive fade, but a final surge, a complex, desperate attempt to survive. In these seconds, the brain's electrical activity can actually spike, as if making one last stand against the inevitable. Picture a fortress under siege. When oxygen is cut off, the brain's neural networks don't simply shut down. Instead, they launch emergency protocols, activating backup systems, and sending distress signals throughout the body. This is a microscopic battle, waged with electrochemical signals and cascading responses. Neurons fire in rapid succession, synapses exchange frantic messages, and every cell seems to rally for survival. Scientists now know that after clinical death, the brain can show paradoxical bursts of activity, a defiant roar against the darkness. These surges can be so intense they rival the brain's activity during full consciousness. This isn't conscious choice, but biology's imperative. The brain is programmed to survive, deploying every mechanism it can. Automatic systems, honed by evolution, spring into action, activating in a precise sequence. This period, lasting minutes, challenges the idea of death as an instant event. Instead, it suggests a gradual, complex process where the boundaries between life and death blur. Different parts of the system fail at different rates. The brain is often the last to fall. As other organs shut down, the brain's activity lingers, holding on even as the rest of the body lets go. If the brain is still active, what might it experience? Could there be flashes of memory, sensations, or even awareness in these final moments? Here, science meets the personal, bridging biology and consciousness. The dying brain's activity may help explain near-death experiences and the vivid perceptions some people report. The brain's last stand is a testament to its power and the tenacity of life, fighting until the very end. Even in its final moments, it refuses to go quietly, illuminating the darkness with one last burst of energy. These moments offer a crucial window into the dying process, revealing secrets about consciousness, survival, and the very nature of life and death. The implications are profound. Death is not a simple fade to black, but a complex, dynamic process that challenges everything we thought we knew about the end of life. To understand the brain at death, we must define death itself, a surprisingly nuanced task. Traditionally, death meant the heart and lungs stopped, clinical death. But with modern technology, a person can be kept alive even if the brain is irreversibly damaged. This led to the concept of brain death, the complete, irreversible loss of all brain function. For our exploration, we focus on the period after clinical death, when the heart stops, but the brain's journey continues. During this window, the brain, deprived of oxygen and glucose, begins its final, complex process. This is where the true battle for survival unfolds. If the brain remains active after the heart stops, it opens up unsettling possibilities about experience at the threshold of death. The line between life and death is not clear-cut, but a shifting transition. The brain doesn't simply power down when the heart stops. Studies show coordinated brain activity can persist for minutes after cardiac arrest. Not just random noise, but organized patterns. In some cases, bursts of gamma waves linked to consciousness and memory appear after the heart has stopped. This suggests the brain might enter a state of heightened awareness, a final flurry before silence. Why does this happen? It may be a survival mechanism or the neurological basis for vivid near-death experiences. The brain could be replaying memories or generating powerful internal experiences in its last moments. This lingering activity, sometimes lasting minutes, challenges our understanding of death's timeline. Even as the body shuts down, the brain continues to whisper, offering clues about consciousness at the brink. One remarkable event in the dying brain is terminal spreading depolarization, a wave of electrochemical silence sweeping across the cortex. It's not activity, but a shutdown. Neurons lose their ability to fire as energy reserves collapse. Imagine a ripple across a pond, but here, it's a wave of electrical silence. This marks the point of no return for neurons, typically minutes after blood flow stops. Before this wave, there may be chaotic or organized activity. After, neurons are largely inert. It's a slow, creeping shutdown, the brain's final surrender. Observing this wave gives scientists a precise marker for irreversible brain death. While the heart may have stopped earlier, this wave signals the collapse of the brain's functional capacity. It's a silent, dramatic farewell in the hidden theater of the dying brain. As the brain faces its final moments, it doesn't simply shut down. Instead, it undergoes a dramatic chemical upheaval. A surge of neurochemicals like dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin floods the neural landscape, creating a storm of activity in the dying mind. This isn't a random event. Some scientists believe it's a last-ditch effort by the brain to counteract the dying process, while others suggest it's simply the result of cells breaking down and releasing their chemical stores in a final cascade. Dopamine, often called the pleasure molecule, could create feelings of peace, comfort, or even euphoria, as if the brain is trying to soothe itself in its last moments. At the same time, norepinephrine might heighten alertness, sharpening awareness, and possibly contributing to the vivid clarity some people report during near-death experiences. Serotonin, a key player in regulating mood and perception, is also involved in dreams and hallucinations. Its surge could trigger vivid visions, altered states, or even life-flashing before your eyes moments. This overwhelming chemical flood may help explain the intense, sometimes otherworldly experiences reported by people who have been revived from clinical death. The dying brain, awash in these powerful substances, might generate a final internal symphony, a cascade of sensation, memory, and emotion unlike anything experienced in ordinary life. The interplay of these chemicals creates a unique neurochemical environment, a state of consciousness that is fundamentally different from waking, dreaming, or even drug-induced states. This state, though stressful for the body, might paradoxically produce profound, meaningful, or even transcendent experiences, moments that linger in memory for those who return. By understanding this surge, we begin to piece together the mystery of the brain's vivid farewell, a final, extraordinary burst of consciousness at the edge of life. Many near-death survivors report a rapid, vivid replay of their lives, a panoramic life review. This isn't a chaotic jumble, but a coherent, emotionally charged narrative. Neurologically, a surge of memory and emotion-related chemicals may trigger this cascade. The hippocampus and temporal lobes, crucial for memory, might become hyperactive, releasing a flood of recollections. Some see this as the mind's final attempt to find meaning or closure, others as a byproduct of the brain's breakdown. People relive events with emotional intensity, yet with new understanding, becoming both actor and observer. The consistency of these reports suggests a common neurological process. In its final act, the brain may present us with a profound summary of our journey. Near-death experiences often include tunnels, bright lights, peace encounters with loved ones, and out-of-body sensations. Science seeks explanations. Tunnel vision may result from oxygen deprivation in the visual cortex, euphoria from endorphins and dopamine. Out-of-body experiences could be dissociative states with the temporoparietal junction creating the sense of floating above the body. Some reports include verifiable details, fueling debate about their nature. While science can explain many elements, the coherence and transformative power of NDEs remain mysterious. Are these illusions of a dying brain or glimpses into unknown states of consciousness? The mystery endures. Even with advanced tools, death's final moments remain mysterious. Some studies detect faint brain activity, like gamma waves, long after the heart stops, though these may be residual cellular processes, not consciousness. Interpreting these signals requires caution. They may be the last echoes of life, not awareness. The persistence of these questions shows how much we still don't know about dying and consciousness. Near-death experiences offer clues, but bridging subjective accounts and objective data is a major challenge. Science illuminates parts of this path, but vast unknowns remain. Perhaps some secrets of the dying brain will always invite wonder, reflection, and awe. Have you ever wondered what really happens in your mind when you die? It's one of those questions that's haunted humanity for centuries. What's it actually like in those final moments inside your own head? I'm not talking about the afterlife or ghost stories. Let's dig into what science actually knows. The truth is, the experience of dying is both mysterious and deeply fascinating, and researchers have spent decades trying to unravel its secrets. Here's something fascinating. Death isn't a sudden blackout, it's a process. Your mind and body don't just switch off like a light. Instead, there's a gradual shutting down, a sequence of changes that unfold over minutes, sometimes even hours. Among the five senses, vision is usually the first to go. The light fades, the edges blur, details melt into darkness. It's as if the world is slowly dissolving, the colors and shapes you've always known slipping away, leaving only shadows behind. It's a slow closing of the curtains on the world you've always known. The familiar becomes distant, and the unknown starts to creep in. Next comes hearing. This one's surprising. Many people who've had near-death experiences say they could still hear voices, sounds, and even music as everything else faded away. Sometimes the last thing people remember is the sound of a loved one's voice, or the gentle hum of a favorite song. Hearing seems to linger, hanging on as if it doesn't want to let go just yet. It's almost as if your mind is searching for one last connection to the world, holding on to the comfort of sound. And then, there's touch. That sensation of your own heartbeat, the coldness creeping in, maybe shivers or even pain. Some people describe a tingling or a sense of floating as if their body is becoming lighter and less real. Touch is usually the last sense to leave. Even as everything else fades, you might still feel the warmth of a hand, the softness of a blanket, or the pressure of your own heartbeat. It's like your body is holding on to that final thread of reality. The sense of touch becomes your last anchor to the physical world. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The true final moment isn't about your senses, it's about your awareness. As your senses fade, your mind enters a strange in-between state where reality and memory start to blur together. That split second when you're no longer sure who you are, where you are, or even if you exist at all. Some people describe it as a feeling of floating, or being outside their own body, watching from a distance. It's the mind letting go, drifting beyond the boundaries of identity and memory. It's a transition from the known to the unknown, a gentle release from everything you've ever been. Science has mapped out some of this journey, but honestly, we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much we still don't understand about what happens in those final moments. There are still huge mysteries. What actually happens to consciousness as the brain shuts down? Is it just electrical activity fizzling out, or is there something more? Could there be a hidden layer of awareness that science hasn't yet discovered? In those last moments, the brain is a battlefield. It's not just passively shutting down, it's actively trying to keep you alive, sending out bursts of energy, fighting for every second. In your final moments, your brain isn't just giving up, it's fighting to stay alive. It floods your system with chemicals, replaying memories, trying to make sense of what's happening. It's almost heroic. Some scientists believe this is why people report seeing their lives flash before their eyes. The brain is searching for meaning even as it lets go. And maybe, just maybe, what we call death is really a doorway to a kind of consciousness we can't even imagine. The end of one story, and the beginning of something entirely new. These are questions that challenge our understanding of life, death, and what it means to be aware. They remind us how much we still have to learn about the mind. So what do you think? Is the last spark of awareness just your brain's final act? Or is there something deeper going on? Could there be a part of us that continues in some way after the senses and the body have faded? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think about the mind's journey beyond death. The conversation is just beginning.